In this video, I want to show you some of the new features of Google Drive. Now, these features could change at any time, but the new Google Drive is a fairly substantial departure from the old Google Drive, so there are some major changes that you probably need to be familiar with. The first big change is some of the look of Google Drive. The first thing that you'll notice is when you first go into the new Google Drive, the main window that you see right here looks a lot different. They have made a thumbnail view, which some people like quite a bit. So your folders are these smaller thumbnails at the top, and then all of your documents are these larger thumbnails at the bottom, so that you can get a little bit of a preview of what some of your different files are as you're looking for the right one. Now, in addition to that, another feature that's new that you can see right over here is the Activity and Details tab. And so what this is you can look at the activity for the different things that you've done. Now, if you don't have anything highlighted, the activity shows the activity for the entire folder. So my whole My Drive, I can look and see the different things that I've done in the My Drive folder recently. If I want to click on a specific document, I can look at the activity for that document, and I can see when I've made changes to that document and everything like that. I can also click on Details, and I can look at some of the details for that document. If you don't like having the details there, you can click on the I button and it will get rid of them. I personally like it without the details there because it gives more space, and then I can see all of the information. I can actually fit in more thumbnails. Another big difference with the layout is if you look over here on the left, the button that says Incoming is a new button. It actually replaces a button that used to say Shared with Me, and if you click on Incoming, the actual way that this is formatted is a little bit different. This is all of the files that have been shared with you. And when you take a look at it, I like the layout of this. It shows you everything that was shared with you in the past week, and then it shows you after that everything that was shared that was older than that. Now, all of the shared with me stuff in this incoming folder is sorted by date. So you look for the things that have been newly shared with you on the top. Let me talk about these buttons over here. This one right here changes this to list view. I actually prefer list view, although a lot of people like thumbnails. I just like to be able to see a list of all my documents. So I tend to go with that. You can also change some of your sorting options. The default is by name, but you can also do last modified, or you know that you recently opened something to look at it and now you're trying to find it again. You can click on last opened and it will show you the most recent opened documents. So now I'm going to move over to the left side over here. Now, the My Drive button right here is a place where you can see all of your folders and also the chain of folders. So if you create a folder and then inside of that folder you make additional folders, you can see that chain over here on the left, and you can see that chain by clicking on the arrow next to each folder. It will open it up and show all the folders inside. The next thing that's over here is there are two different ways to create new documents. You can either click on the new folder or you can click on the My Drive button right here. And if you click on either one, they say basically the same thing. You can create a new folder. You can upload files or folders from your computer, which is a really nice feature. They've made this easy for you to do. Or you can click right here where it says New File, and you can make any of the Google type files. So that's how you make a new document. Here's a couple of things that you can do with documents. So if I choose one of them, there are some buttons that show up here. If you want to get a link to a document and share that link, you can click on the Get Link button. You also have the option to share a document. I can also preview it. It opens up a preview window that I can see it in if I want to do that before I open the document for real. I can remove it and send it to the trash. And then there's these three buttons right here, which are some more actions. I can choose what to open it with. I can move it to a folder from this More Than tab. I can star it so that it's one of my important documents. I can rename it. I can view the details. I can manage versions. I can also make a copy of it, or I can download it. If I want to take it off of Google Drive and put it on my computer, I can download it right here. Okay, now I want to show a couple more things. There's two more things that I want to show. The first one is how to select documents and move them around in Drive. The first thing is if you want to move something, let's say I want to move this document to another folder, all I need to do that is to just click on it and hold down the left click button and then move it somewhere. I can either move it to one of these folders up here and it will move to that folder, or I can go over to the left side, and because I have embedded folders, I can move it to a folder within a folder here by just hovering over a folder. And if there's an arrow, it will open up all the folders that are inside of that folder. So by doing that, I can then find the exact place that I want to put this document. Now, if I want to use more than one, or I want to grab more than one document, I can do that in a couple of different ways. One is I can just use my mouse. If I click on one of the documents that I want to grab, I can actually drag and get multiple documents at the same time. So I went from the top to the bottom, and now I've selected all of these. So all I have to do is left click my mouse, and it will join all of these together. And I've gotten 10 documents here, and then I can move them anywhere that I want. Another thing that I can do is I can use some keyboard shortcuts, the Shift key and the Control key. The Shift key allows me to select the first document that I want, and then I hold the Shift button and select the last document that I want, and everything that's in between there will be highlighted. So all of these documents from the first one to the last one are all highlighted, and then I can move this whole group. Sorry, I did the first one and then the last one. You have to hold down the click button. If you let go, it'll mess it up. But I can then hold them, and it'll drag all 10 of them into wherever I want it to go. Another option is the Control button. The Control button allows me to select individual documents instead of a whole group. So if I hit the Control button, so I've chosen one document, now I'm going to hold down the Control button, and I'm going to click multiple documents that are not in order. Once I've selected my multiple documents, I can actually let go of the Control button, and then when I click on them, it will move them all together just like it's done before, but now the ones that I didn't want that are in the middle here, I don't get those. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is the settings button. There are a couple of different things. You can leave New Drive right now. Eventually this option will be taken away from you, so I just want to warn you that eventually you won't be able to do this anymore. You can download the drive if you're at your home computer and you want Google Drive on your computer as opposed to always being online. You can do that. You can also click on the settings button here, and it will bring up a couple of settings. One setting that I have changed is the density. If you're in list view, and this only works in list view, you can change the density. I like compact because it makes everything smaller and it fits more on the screen. The other options are cozy and comfortable. The other option I have right here is I can convert uploaded files to Google Docs. Let's say I have a whole bunch of Word documents and I would like to make them into Google documents. I can do that by clicking on this button. Now, one thing that allows you to do is you could take the entirety of what you have in your school's folders, and you can move those to Google Drive so that you can stop using your school folders if you want to. My suggestion for that, if you do that, would be there might be some formatting issues with Google Drive, especially if you have some documents that are formatted fairly heavily. So to be safe, what you might want to do is have this unchecked at first and take and move everything from your home folder, or your school folder rather, into Google Docs, and it will create a folder that has all of those Word documents and Excel documents and different things like that in there in their original format. So if you ever have an issue with formatting, you can go back to that. And then you can repeat that exact same process, but before you do, you can click on this button that says Convert Uploaded Files, and then every file that you upload will be converted to a Google Doc format. Now, to upload, the easiest thing to do is just click on My Drive right here and then choose Upload Folder, and it will ask you what folder you want to upload. So if I go to the My Documents folder on here, I can choose, let's say I want to do this test documents folder. I will choose it and then click OK, and that entire folder will come up here. And not only that, but because I wanted to change those to Google Docs, those were originally Word documents, and now they're Google Docs that I've created. These two right here, test document 1 and 2. So those are some new features of Google Drive.